Well, hello there, my friends. Today is Poetry Pastime, episode 2. I know it has been quite a while since I shared my first poem, but don't worry, this will be more frequently uploaded, I promise. Just setting the mood. I do hope you enjoyed today's poem I present to you. I wrote this one again personally myself. I've shared this one with quite a few people. Others have enjoyed it. This is one that I've received a lot of positive comments on. So I hope you can pull up a chair next to me around this candlelight. Enjoy. Let me just get a drink real quick. Now let's begin. Okay, I have it pulled up here. Now let us start. Winter's bite. In the middle of the snowy forest, the ground covered with thick sheets of white. The area around me is cold and desolate. I glance out and look towards the forest's edge. There a village can be seen. Those who live there, all warm and cozy, laughter rings out to the edge of the forest. Glowing orbs of flickering orange, yellow dance about in the void of the enthralling darkness. The forest is so cold and enchanting. To stay, one must have the strongest of wills to survive. I have no meaning in the village. No one notices me or even looks upon my cracked and bittered face. I found meaning amongst the animals and trees in the wild. Cold, frosty winds wear me down, eroding away at me inside and out. So cold, so scared. The freezing winds come gusting through the tall and slender trees, howling and whipping all around me. The only sensation I feel as I sit alone and wait for the icy, cold, gripping embrace of my long-desired friend. That concludes the poem. So, to discuss the idea of this poem, I'd like to start from the beginning of it. So pulling it up one more time. The idea of winter's bite, taking the title first, the idea of winter's bite to start with was the idea that the wind, and it's obviously winter, the setting, and it's, a village. I never gave a time period or anything like that. I like to leave that up to you to decide. But obviously it's more olden time, but when is more specific to you to decide. I said it in a snowy location, just a village, that's all. And so winter's bite takes the idea of being in winter and the idea of frostbite. Just the sense that bite. It's frost, but it feels like it's biting. Oftentimes people take winter and describing like it's biting. When you get cold, it goes numb. It's like someone's biting. And that's the idea I took. It was such a basic idea to me that a lot of people, like a feeling that's commonly described when feeling in winter. And that's the whole idea, is just a simple concept of winter's bite. Just that biting feeling. And I want you to remember that. That's why I keep repeating it. So the first paragraph I have, obviously it says, I'm sitting in the middle of the snowy forest. So it sets the location. The ground covered with thick sheets of white. So there is describing snow and how, not just, I'd say the depth of the snow in a way. Not the exact measurement, but it shows the severity of the snow. It's thick. It's layer upon layer. So he's now describing the area around them. I keep saying he not on purpose, but just out of reflex. The area around me is cold and desolate. When I say he, don't take it like I'm giving the character that is not specifically gendered to a gender. I'm not doing that on purpose. The reason I'm saying that is because when I wrote it, I was, it's the writing's from me. It's not from another person. So it's, from my perspective when I'm writing this. But when you're reading it, It could be from your perspective. You may identify with a feeling from this poem. I've been told that before by others. So that's the idea I wanted to capture, was you putting yourself in the shoes of this person. So that's why I say there's no specific gender. Whatever you feel, or whoever you are, whoever you describe yourself as, is what you may identify with as in this poem. Is what I mean when you identify with it, if you do. Or you get a certain feeling from it, that's all. But moving on. Now, describing the area around me is cold and desolate. Not just the snow. It's the environment. So when they glance out, it's towards the forest's edge. There's a village. That's the setting. Next paragraph. Those who live, they are all warm and cozy. So he's cold. For me, I'll just keep saying he, but to make that I'll just say X person. X person is cold, and it's desolate, the area, just not a very warm and inviting environment like the village. Now, that's the thing. When you think of winter, people often think of warm and inviting and family, Christmas, but some people don't have that kind of environment. People don't have that kind of winter. Winter may be seen as different things for different people. So scary, desolate, cold, maybe it's depressing. So that's what I tried to capture with this one. That's why I compare the village and the forest being cold and desolate. So laughter being, surrounded by laughter, having good times, the fire, glowing with flickering orbs. Glowing orbs of flickering orbs. So he's a distance away in the village, and it's away from people. So he's not in the village, but the village is away from him, but he can see them and hear them. But, warm, cozy, he could tell already, even from a great distance away, and surrounded by such horrible conditions. And he sees it as dancing out, and in between them is that void. I'm talking about that void of darkness. But it's in the forest as well. It surrounds him. Even though he's surrounded by animals and the environment, he's still alone. So the forest is cold and enchanting. And with that, I tried to describe how it feels when someone may be depressed. When it could be enchanting to identify with that way and to feel that way. And it's also just a poem about how people might want to give up when alone. And even if you're just out surviving alone, you may feel that way of giving up. And that's that idea. And the wind just, pounding, that could be, to me, that was taken for life. The ideas of life and pain, all that pounding against you. Then the icy gripping embrace of death awaits him. That's what it is. The long desired friend. It's even wanting to die, and that's what the idea is. That's what he's been waiting for. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the poem, and I know this was just a quick one. I want to get this out because I've been actually wanting to do this. And let me know what you guys think. Okay, because I'm still working this series out, how you guys feel about it and everything. But I'd say that concludes our show. So again, subscribe, like button. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, campers.